Hello, and welcome to Get In, We're Going Healing, a place where we talk about mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well being to help you learn to let go of the things that are holding you back from being your best, your greatest, your most authentic you. My name is Tovah, and I will be your guide. So today I have a special treat for you. I am speaking today with Dr. Matin. And Dr. Matin is a molecular ecologist whose research explores how mangrove trees sense and respond to environmental changes such as salinity and climate change. But while that is awesome, and she is incredibly smart, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking to her about some of the stuff that's gone on in her life. She's gone from being a child raised in Iran and all the things that go with being a woman raised in that environment. And she has overcome so many different challenges to just excel in life, to do these amazing things that she's doing. And today we're going to talk to her about her experiences that she wrote about in her book, All Is Well. So please join me in welcoming our guest today, Dr. Matin. Welcome.
Thank you. You don't have to call me doctor, by the way.
I mean, after everything you've gone through, calling you doctor is like just mwah, the icing on the cake for everything you've been through. If I had a doctorate, I would absolutely want people to call me doctor.
Matin is fine. Thank you. And I love how you correctly pronounce my name. It's usually not easy for foreigners.
Well, as someone who has an unusual name myself, I appreciate when people say it correctly. I'll let you go ahead and say anything you want to about your book, and then I have a few questions I want to talk to you about.
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be on your show. I love that you talk about trauma and healing. And when I first heard your podcast, I remember thinking, oh my God, if she hears about my life and how many traumas I've been through. And I love that you focus on healing because usually when people hear about trauma, they think it's just people getting stuck in pain and not being able to move forward. And when I wrote this book, I had a few hopes that as outcome it will be the like outcome of writing this book and people who read it. I'm one of my main hopes is that people see that resilience is not something that like you decide to be resilient or you like decide to build it. It's just you have to cherish the pain that even unknowingly, even you might even not notice it. That is unusual if you are a kid, for example, born in a hardship situation. So
Mhm.
those pain kind of train you, same as the physical training. As your muscles get stronger, you gradually become stronger and stronger. And I want people to not lose hope if they are already in a painful situation or they're stuck. I want to remind them that no situation remains the same. And even if you feel stuck right now, even if you cannot change everything right now, you can prepare for the day by small actions, by just preparing one day at a time, hoping, not losing the hope. So for me, even though I have been through a lot and so many losses, as you know, but I feel lucky because for me it started at a very young age and I didn't know it's negotiable. I didn't know. I just thought this is just life, which trained me to move forward no matter what. To the
Mhm.
point that now, later in my life, like as an adult, when I face difficulties, sometimes people don't believe me when I say something really bad happened because of the way I am like presenting myself, because
Mhm.
they cannot believe that someone who has just gone through something like that can just look so normal and just live a normal life. So I think I owe my childhood and like everything that came after that, uh, my resilience. And so the main message of my book is resilient. And also I feel like especially media sometimes celebrate victimhood. So I want
Mhm.
people to, like, for example in TV shows, and like I that's how I learned English, by the way, by watching American TV shows, like family TV shows. And what I noticed was that how often, like, they make it acceptable. For example, if you had a difficult life, it's okay to fall into addiction. It's okay to not do well at the school. It's okay to treat other people badly. And then I don't think that's okay. You shouldn't you shouldn't go through life letting your pain to allow you how to behave.
Hmm.
So so I'm hoping that when people read my story, they also get reminded that your pain shouldn't define you. It's your life. You have to move forward and build and learn and find the positive. Like, for example, I was extremely lonely even in my own home because my mom died, and then I was it's all in the book. But the my point is that a long time, like super lonely, and the stuff that I went through, so many losses, I don't see all of that as dark. I see it as uh, it kind of built this strong bond between me and myself. So
Hmm.
I even now when something difficult happens to me, I talk, I not even on purpose, I just subconsciously talk to my younger self, and I tell her like, hey, remember when we like I remember those the dark times that when I was alone and child and hopeless. And then I say, remember when that happened, remember when we were there, how sad and hopeless it felt. Remember we've gone through that and we survived it, or more than survived it. And we, like, sometimes I hear myself telling her, I've got you, and sometimes I hear her telling me, hey, we've got this. And I think that created a level of love and respect for myself that I don't think many people get the chance to have that kind of. I mean, when I listen to, for example, celebrities or people who they are in their 40s and talking about things that when they are talking about it as they just like to
Like it
discover
just
about
happened.
themselves. Yeah, I think, oh, this is something I learned when I was 9. Like then I feel privileged. Like that's also a privilege. So I see pain as some kind of privilege that it taught me so many positive things in a way without me even knowing. Like there are skills, there are like some things. And another, sorry if I'm talking, you can stop me
No,
anytime, but
keep
I
going.
just wanted to point out the things that I'm hoping people get from my book. Another thing that I really hope, after writing the book, or after, like, people who have read it and also the reviews, when I glance through them, I see that almost unanimously people are pointing out in how someone has the courage to share such, because I wrote so many personal things and I didn't censor or something. And my friends tell me, how did you find the courage, how did you find the bravery to, like, or strength to share something this personal? And I want to normalize this, that sharing, like telling your truth, is not something extraordinary. It has to be ordinary. I think we've been trained to keep quiet, to not always just say, oh, I'm great, everything is great, which makes us lonely. Like, if I share what is happening to me, someone else who is also going through hard time is gonna feel less alone, and is
Hmm.
gonna feel like more, I'm gonna like give them more hope by sharing my story. So I think even though people mean well when they tell me this is very brave of you to share, I think it feels backward because it's adding to that stigma that, hey, telling the truth, telling your story is something that you should have been ashamed for. But the fact that you shared it means you are some extraordinary person who has some kind of a special courage that others don't. So I'm
Hmm.
hoping that we can normalize that. Telling your story, talking about things that happened to you, especially things that weren't your fault, is not, it shouldn't be something unusual. It should be just completely usual. And we are not, like, we are not all billionaires who can build schools and hospitals to help people, but we can simply help others by sharing our story and our experiences. And I'm hoping it at least has a small role in normalizing that kind of mindset. And also I'm hoping that overall we can all kind of try to be kinder to one another, because we never know what the other person is going through. And like when we share stories, we can, oh, that person also uh, is human like me, is going through something difficult. And yeah, I don't know if this is what you meant by talking about my book, or you wanted me to talk about what is written in,
No,
but these
no,
are
no,
like,
no. You are
yeah.
bringing up some excellent points. One of the things I say to people all the time is that when you are authentic, when you are yourself, when you are showing your true self, you actually empower other people to be authentic too,
Exactly, yes.
to not pretend that
Yes.
everything's okay, to not pretend that it's fine. To, like you said, speaking the truth, speaking your truth. As you were saying, like with the keeping it quiet. I know in my story, that's what we do on this channel all the time. We talk about that sort of stuff, and I share the stuff that I've gone through. And I know that in my personal life, family, friends have felt uncomfortable with me sharing that stuff because it doesn't necessarily show them in such a great light. And so they're concerned that what it's going to do is make them look bad, or that if I speak about like my childhood and what it was like, I have family members who are concerned that it makes other family members look bad because of the way that they behaved. And my response to that was, listen, I'm sorry that they feel that it makes them look bad, but it's my story. It's what I experienced. It is my life. And if they had done those things, which they did,
They should
those are
have
things
behaved better.
they should have behaved better. And no, I'm not shaming them, but I'm being honest. Like this, the experiences I've gone through, I wouldn't have experienced those things had
Sure.
they not done those things. But like you said, the resilience of going through the hard things, because at the end of the day, you have no choice. You have no choice. You are stuck
Yeah.
in the hard thing. There is no other option. You do not have the option. Well, I mean, I guess you do have the option if you just want to like hide in on yourself and go into a depression and not. But what is the point of living life if you're just going to allow it to push you into a depressive state? Like I was noticing, and I really love in your book, I really love that people have
Thank you.
commented to you about how you can be so positive about things. And I found that not only do I identify with that, because I'm one of those people too, that life kicks a lot. Life kicks really hard. And I learned that there's no point in focusing on all the negativity because you can't change that. All you can change is how you respond to the negativity that shows up in your life. You can't stop life from lifing. Life is gonna life. Life is gonna kick you in the teeth from time to time. It just, that is what life is. And it's not, like you said, it's not about bravery in sharing your story. It's about saying, hey, I got through it. I went through these really hard things and I got through it, and you can too. I like to tell people all the time, you, everything that you have faced that was really, really hard, you have a 100% success rate of getting through it, because every single thing that you faced that you thought was going to kick your butt and drop you down, you actually over, even if you just barely made it through, just barely made it, you still did. You still succeeded. You still made it. And with that kind of track record, there's no reason to think that the next thing that life hands you, the next hardship that life offers you, that you won't overcome that as well, because you've overcome everything else you've ever experienced. And that's
Ex-
your book is talking exactly that sort of thing. And I noted, like as I was reading through some of the excerpts where people were saying that you have such a positive outlook on life. And I just like you, I don't understand why people can point that out as like a, oh, it's such, you're so wonderful, you're so brave, you have such a positive outlook. The other option is to let life grind you down.
Yeah. And it's my life. I love it. Even I even love the hard part. That's what shaped me. It's, you only get one life. If you want to
Mhm.
hate half of it or most of it, I mean, I don't understand. And I'm hoping that by sharing my story, people can also people who don't see it already that way can start, first of all, sharing their story, and also loving their life, like finding that bond that I said it created. I mean, I didn't decide to create that bond between me and myself, but it just builds some. It's exactly like when they say when two people go through trauma together, it builds a strong bonding. It's also the same with you and yourself. I feel
Hmm.
like so confident and love and respect for myself that other people might. I don't see it in so many people that they just it also teaches you to be really self-dependent and not always go to, like everything every time something bad happen you want to go for help. You always figure out something. It gives you confidence that hey, as you said, I've 100% overcame whatever happened so far, and I'm gonna get through this one as well.
I love what you said about the inner child of your inner child then giving you the boost. Because so many
Yeah.
times we talk about us talking to our inner child. On this channel, we've talked a lot about inner child work. We've talked a lot about trauma work. We've talked a lot about our last guest we had on the last episode was about inner child trauma and how we can connect with that. We do a lot of top parts work here. We do a lot of shadow work here. We do a lot of going into the depths of self to find those pain points and then giving ourselves permission to express the feelings, to express whatever that inner version of ourself needed. And then
Mhm.
we stand as the respected adult to that inner child. We get to be the wise adult to the inner child instead of expecting someone else outside of you to come and save you. You become the wise adult to the child. But what you said about your inner child giving you that advice and giving, I love that because I don't think I've ever done that in my inner child work. I don't think I've ever like let my inner child give me the encouragement because I'm always giving my inner child the encouragement. I don't think I've ever looked at it from my inner child giving me as the adult the encouragement. And I think I'm going to start doing that. I really
You
like
should.
that.
I mean, she's the one who've got you here. Like she's the one who've overcome all of that, despite everything, despite being small and despite being powerless. And I owe her everything that I've achieved. So yeah, I still get advice from my inner child. It's just she was so brave. I mean, now at the time I didn't know, she didn't know, because as I said, when you are born into a situation, you just think that's life, that's everybody.
Mhm.
But now, when I, as I said, when I watch like TV shows and I see how parents and like that kind, how a kid can get to be a kid, how I didn't have that, how I don't just envy it, I also admire myself that, hey, despite that, I mean, you still turned out to be such a normal, loving person. So,
Mhm.
not to sound arrogant, but
No, not at all.
yeah,
Because when we face trauma, that's one of the hard things, right? To
yeah,
not let it harden our heart, to not
yeah,
let it make us stone and make us hard because we face challenging things. So many people do let the hard things in life get them down and let them become hard and uncaring and unfeeling towards others and saying, well, if I had it hard, so should you. And if I had to struggle, so should you. And so many people have that mindset that
yeah,
if I had to struggle, you have to struggle. But instead, you're taking it to that point of if I had to struggle, I can be kind to you because I understand that I struggled and you struggled too. And
yeah,
someone should offer you kindness. Someone should offer compassion. Someone should offer love. And not just because we owe it to someone, but because we understand life is hard. And whatever you're dealing with, it's hard. And I hope that you get through it. I hope that you manage to learn what you need to learn from it and grow from it in whatever way you need to grow, but not saying, well, whatever you're going through, that's a you problem. No, no,
yeah,
offering that kindness and compassion. And I love that you do that. I think it's such a feeling that doesn't happen that much in the world. So many people can be so dismissive and hard. And to say to other people, yeah, you went through something hard. And I give you credit for that. And I'm still going to be kind to you. I'm still going to be loving to you. And not because I owe you, but because we as people should be kind and loving to each other. We don't
Yeah,
know what someone's going through. We don't know that person we see at the grocery store that is, taking forever to get something. We have no idea if maybe inside their mind they're struggling with something really hard or really painful and just trying to get through the day. We have no idea what they're going through.
exactly. Is but I don't want to get credit for being this way. I didn't decide to be this way. I believe life made me like facing every difficulty and challenge and moving forward despite of it is like the pain was this soil that my hope and resilience kind of grow out of it. So I think mm, mm, maybe I am the way I am. I owe this to the life that I've lived, no matter how hard it was, but still, it was a like full experienced life that built my character, and I love that. Like if I had a choice to be born again, I mean, sometimes I joke that because I was born in Iran during war, I say I was born in a wrong time, wrong place. But still, if I had a choice to change I my life, like start over, I don't change anything.
Hmm.
And I love the person that at every stage I was. I mean, of course I made so many mistakes as well, but I've learned from them, and I am currently I am this person because of everything that has happened. So
Hmm.
I want everybody to cherish their life, no matter how hard it is, no matter how impossible it feels. It's just your life. It's yours. You only get one life, and you just have to like embrace it.
Absolutely. I would even
Yeah.
say that part of your kindness comes from your mother. The way that you wrote about your mother in the book, of just being, she just seems like she was so kind, so caring, so compassionate. And even with your father, where you wrote about your father having an explosive temper and having, but everything he did, even if he struggled with emotional regulation, because really that's what that is. When we
Yes.
we blow up like that, it's just we struggle with how to regulate our nervous system and how to regulate our emotions, and that's common for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But he did it because he cared about you. And the fact that he
Exactly.
supported you through all of the different stuff, and like where you wrote about how when you were at school and you were doing stuff that he was worried when you weren't coming home, all of it was just because he loved you. Even if he had a different way of showing it, he still
Exactly.
had your back. He still supported you. And that when someone doesn't have that, when someone doesn't have that kind of support, it is a lot harder to have the outlook on life of being kind, being considerate, going through, because you don't feel like you have anyone in your corner. You don't feel like anyone supports you. You don't feel like anyone even cares if you continue to exist in this world. I would say a lot of your personality probably has to do with you had good parents. Even if they made
Ye-
mistakes, you had good
Yes.
parents.
I am so glad you picked that up about my father, because one of my worries, because I wrote everything. So one of my worries was, am I picture like painting him as this monster who's done so many? And it's a very fine line between, like, for my dad, I think we all, maybe this is also another lesson I want people, not lesson, sorry, I just, a message I want people to hear in my book is that uh, our parents, they also are product of whatever environment they have grown in. So from,
Hmm.
and my dad really didn't have a very happy childhood or really supporting parents, and as long as each generation does a little bit better than their own parents, they're already succeeding in parenting.
Hmm.
And especially back then, I was born early 80s, so there, especially in Iran, there wasn't like parenting classes or books or anything. So they just they, by default, they thought they have to get married and have kids. There is no choice. So they, nobody sat like paused and thought about, hey, am I really the type of person that want to be a parent? Am I gonna be a good parent? Do I have to have kids?
Hmm.
So they just did the best they could. And I'm so glad that you picked up on the loving side of my father as well. It means I did a good job.
You did. You
Right.
definitely did. And I understand that as a parent myself, I do my best with my child. I do my
Yeah.
best. And there are days I am not the best version. I am not the kindest person. I'm on edge. I do my best to try to apologize when I make those mistakes and to say, hey, that wasn't you. That was me. That's not your fault. I was on edge. I was dysregulated. I was whatever it is. Or if it is if it is my kid, but saying I could have responded better, but maybe you can also learn to not push so hard because that can be really hard for other people. I try my best to use it as learning experiences, but I mess up too. I make mistakes too. We all do. Every parent does. But like you said, it's about trying to do a little bit better than your parents, trying to change a little, even if it's just a little bit. I know I grew up, sounds like we had surprisingly similar childhoods, even though we were raised in a world apart from each other. Similar the era as well. I was also born in the early 80s. So a lot of the same type of things were going on in parenting and the patterns of behavior in parenting of like being more aggressive to get the point through all those different things that was also common in my childhood as well, and I pride myself on I have never ever, well, okay, couple of times what before I
Mostly.
learned to grow better, a couple of times, but I don't hit my child. I don't use physical force as a corrective tool. That was not how I was raised. Physical force was a corrective tool when I was being raised. And I pride myself on I don't do that in this generation.
You should,
So
yeah.
with the hope that when my child has children himself, that he will take that what I did and that no hitting, and that will just be part of how he moves forward into his children. And that is the legacy I leave of we've changed that pattern. We don't do those things anymore. But like you said, I'm absolutely certain your father changed things that his father did.
Of course.
And
Yes,
he
yes.
stopped doing that. And because he stopped doing that, that
Yeah.
stops going down the line.
Yeah. For example, one thing that I know is that his dad was very stingy with money. My dad went overboard with always like giving us more allowance, and I mean we weren't rich, we were just middle class, that my parents were both teachers, but he still made sure that we always have more than like enough, because that means he was trying to be better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
like having like difficult people in your life, either parents or relatives, that gives you an example of what not to do later. So that is also something like
Absolutely.
yeah. So maybe,
Absolutely.
yeah, I had some good examples of what not to do and what to do. My parents both were very kind to people, to other people. My dad wasn't a good parent in many ways, so he made so many mistakes, like especially for me. I had an older brother. He was a good father for a boy, but for a girl he just couldn't understand. And like he just had this idea that girls are okay by default
Mm.
and boys need attention. Like, which made me feel so lonely, especially after my mom passed away. But at the same time, I never doubted that he loved me. I mean, I wrote in the book that even when he didn't like me, he still loved me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just uh, he just couldn't enjoy my company sometimes, and which is not something parents should do. But
I
he
mean,
also,
let's be real. I love my child, but sometimes I don't always enjoy his company. And it's not about my child, it's about just what I can handle in the moment and
yeah,
how much I can tolerate. And sometimes my tolerance is very small.
yeah.
and I
But
and I can't
if
take it.
yeah, I get that. But I was not a triggering child. Like I was very careful about what to do. I never talked back. I never did anything that I knew that is gonna annoy him. But he had a very short temper in a way that he could get annoyed. I mean, he was annoyed by my studying. He was annoyed by
Mm.
my, not because he didn't want me to be educated. He didn't like the look of me sitting down and studying. So I had to sneak out, go to relatives' house and study. I had to wake up super early in the morning and study before my dad wakes up. I mean, usually parents like it when kids study, but I mean, it just shows that everybody comes with its own quirk, and
Mm-hmm.
we need to find, like, I remember when I was in high school, uh, in Iran, when at that time, at least at that time, going to national university, it was super competitive, and you had to really, really get a good score for the entrance exam. And like you be in the top 3% of the whole country, or 5% at least. And there are two types of university. One is national, that you don't pay. It's kind of feel like, because you get a good score, I think the equivalent of American or Canadian, maybe you get a
Scholarship?
academic scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah, academic one, not the sports. But there is another one, they call it Azad University, which Azad in Persian means free, but it's not really free, because Azad University is kind of private, free from government, but they
Ah.
have to pay a lot. So I knew, because my dad always told me not everybody goes to university, it's not a big deal. So I knew that if I don't get to a national university with academic scholarship, that he doesn't have to pay, I probably can't go ever. And in Iran, because my at my home, my life was very hard. For girls, the only socially acceptable way to get out of your parents' house is not when you turn 18 or anything. It's either to get married, which I always knew. I had made up my mind from very young age that I have had enough drama and I don't want to get married. Less people, less drama. And and the other way is to go to college, to go to university. These are the decent way. Like there is also to run away. So I didn't want to do that.
Right.
Yeah. So I had to really, really study, because at that time, in that generation, as I said, because it was so competitive, all parents were getting for their kids extra, private tutors, and like sending them to extra, because the school alone wasn't enough, and sending them to better schools with better teachers. I went to some uh, crappy public school that I was the only one who got into college. And so I wasn't academically, intellectually challenged because of the environment. But I knew, in order for me to get to the university, I have to study. And my dad just always, he didn't like that. He said it looks depressing when you are sitting down and just study. I wasn't allowed to even close my bedroom door and study, because he just saw it as, I think he was just so lonely, and he wasn't good at entertaining himself, and he needed me to do that for him. But at the same time, because I was so determined to do so, like to really get, I knew that's not my life. I want to be educated, I want to be independent, I want to be free. So I had to find time. I could have easily given up, but as a 14-year-old, I realized that I don't want that life, or I don't want to forever live with my dad. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to do and I want to live a life that I'm respected. I want to be educated. And then what I did was, at the time I was in charge of making lunch, because I mean, it started out as helping, but then it gradually, I mean, very soon became my job to prepare. And it's not only, especially if you know anything about Iranian food, it takes forever to cook.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not only about making lunch. It was like cleaning before, like cooking, cleaning before, after. So it was already taking a good 3 hours chunk of my day. So I thought, if I also start helping with dinner, that's gonna also become my job. So I lied and I said, my stomach get upset if I eat dinner. And I always had a very sensitive stomach. So my dad believed me. And so I stopped eating, and they weren't that mean. So if I wasn't eating, they weren't gonna ask me to make it for them.
Mm-hmm.
So for 4 years of high school, I went to bed hungry, just because I didn't want to be in charge of. Like, I remember some nights I couldn't even fall asleep. I was so hungry, and
Oh
I
my
could, like,
gosh.
my brother used to like order takeout. Like I could smell like pizza,
Oh
burgers. Like
no.
I still had to like pretend that no, I can't eat dinner, because it was my future was so important to me. I knew I deserved better than just being someone who cooks cook and clean and just get a high school diploma. I
Mhm.
wanted more, and I made it happen. So yeah, I don't know how I got to this story, but
I love that's because that's all it is advocating for yourself, right? And that can
yeah,
be really, really hard to do, especially in the situation that you were in, because of course, in that culture, women are expected to handle those sort of things.
yeah,
And for you to do that, for you to see that and to know that, oh, okay, if I do that, that's going to be my job. And then I'll
yeah,
never be able to get out of it because that's just going to be my job. A very sneaky way to do it, but it you saw the future you wanted and you worked
yeah,
towards your goals and nothing was going to get in your way. And I love that determination that you just knew what you did not want this life and you were willing to do whatever you needed to do in order to get to the life that you want.
yeah,
So I wish more people had that drive and
yeah,
understood that when you focus on what you want, you have to go towards that. And if you don't, if you do other things, it's not that you're going to miss your opportunity because it's not that it never comes back around, but it may be a while before it
yeah,
comes back around. And for you to see that and say, no, 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 I want more. I want more for my life than what culture demands, what family demands. I want
yeah.
more than that. And if I have to be a little sneaky to get there,
Lie.
then I will do it. I wouldn't even say necessarily lie. It's just a little sneaky. It's just a small
Yeah,
lie. It's not a detrimental lie. It didn't hurt anybody. It just
best lie I ever.
best lie you ever told.
Yeah. I feel lucky. I mean, I know you are like giving me all these kind comments, but I want to say that I didn't decide to do that. I feel lucky that my mindset was just that way. I don't know how. Maybe my inner child was really smart, but I didn't like teach myself. I feel lucky. Again, I feel like I believe in a higher power in the world, and I believe I always had. If you read the last chapter of my book, I still tear up thinking about it. It's called "In the Arms of an Unseen Parent," and I always felt like there is like when there was no parent to parent me, I always had this power who is more powerful than any parent. Sometimes you have all parents and relatives, and the situation is so hopeless that they can't do anything for you. For example, if
Hmm.
you're sick, or but that higher power helped me through. I always heard that during difficult times telling me, hey, I've got you, just keep going. And I trusted that, and
Hmm.
I knew that if something that powerful has my back, I'm gonna make it, and I'm gonna like really help with. I mean, you can't just sit around and hope for someone like some magical hand coming and rescue. You also have to move forward, knowing that you're not alone. Even if it feels you're alone, you're never alone in this world. There's always,
So true.
yeah,
So true. It actually makes me think of in I don't even know if I have this deck sitting here. Oh, I do. Okay. I read tarot and there is a card in this deck called the Dream, if I can find it. It's the Six of Cups, but in this deck, they call it the Dream. And it talks about you are the one who rescues yourself. There it is. Okay. So in this card, we have this person here sitting here in rags. And then we have this person envisioning somebody coming and rescue them, and all the clothes are nice and they look real pretty, and she looks real peaceful. And in her mind, she's saying, when someone comes and rescues me, when someone comes and saves me from my life. But the message of that card is that no one is coming to save you. Nobody. There's nobody is going to come and pluck you out of your life and bring you into a better life. You are the one who saves you. You are the one who gets yourself out of that situation. You are the one who brings yourself to that wonderful space and it's not this guy that gets you there. You bring yourself there from here to that. And I feel like that's what you were saying with like the higher power telling you, okay, you can do this and not relying on someone outside of you. It's you who gets
yeah,
you to where you want to go. There's no magic there's no fairy godmother. No one's going to come
yeah,
bop you with a magic wand and make your
yeah,
life better. There is no magic wand. It is just you choosing this is, I want more. I want better. I want better than what this is. And if I want that, I'm gonna have to do something to get me there because it's not just gonna poof magically change my life and someone's gonna sweep me off my feet and take me off into the better world. It's me. I
Yeah.
fix me. I rescue me.
Yeah. And it's just, as I said, it's about not just because in my life, I don't know if you've gotten to that part, but when my grandpa died, I was very close to my mom's side of family, and in a very unusual way, for different reasons, they all died in a row. Like my grandpa died when I was 13, and in after 8 months, my mom died. After a year, my grandma died. After another year, my aunt died. I mean, it's just losses after loss.
Hmm.
So it just, I don't, even though it's sad, even though it's really unbearable, it made me so isolated. I had no woman figure in my life.
Hmm.
And I it but still, when I look back, I still see me and my own, like myself, my inner self being there. I don't feel like I was completely alone. I had myself and the higher power. So I always, my brother lived a lot easier life than me, but still he was in the same, but he also had the same losses, maybe not in the same way because my dad really covered for him a lot of those empty holes. But at the same time, he didn't do what I did. He didn't study as hard as I did. He went to that private school that I told you, Azad University, and then he got a degree and he got like a normal, like 9 to 5 job. Like he's living a life that I think he had the opportunity to do a lot better. He went to a better school than me. He had better teachers than me. But he just decided that, hey, I, not that he didn't want to, he really wanted the outcome. He just decided that, no, my life is hard and that's not for me. Like,
Hmm.
that's for some rich person who can, like, I don't know, who can afford to go so many private classes and then go to a better, it's just, I think you are in charge of your own life and you are the one who have to just realize that you deserve better. You
Hmm.
always deserve better. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask, how did you get to the title of your book? With the name of it, All Is Well. What does it mean to you? And how did you come to that title?
So I've written this in the very last part, but I don't know if you've gotten to that part, but a few years ago, 6 years ago, I was gang raped. And
I did
yeah,
not get to that part
yeah.
yet.
It was a very traumatic experience, and of course, and not only the rape part, but also the fact that I was blindfolded. I had this, they had this thing over my head, like a bag or something, and I was in the back of their van, and I wrote in very details about it. And even though I sent it for my editor was like, he didn't touch anything in that chapter, and he commented that this is very raw and I don't want to touch it. So but the thing is, I was 100% sure that they're gonna kill me after this, as we hear in the stories. And like they're gonna not only kill me, I mean, only killing was okay, but in a painful, really painful way, like chopping off my limbs and putting me in suitcase somewhere. I mean, it was, and because my head was covered, I couldn't see what they're gonna do next. So I was, I mean, that's the most like traumatic experience. I don't wish for my worst enemy.
Hmm.
But that after that, I didn't have any support, and except for one person who my book is dedicated to, and uh, he was the president of our university. And when he heard a woman was raped, he offered, uh, if, like, initially he offered if the woman needs to change the, like, if he offered to me to any kind of support that the woman might ask for, the woman being me.
Hmm.
So but the main thing that they told me that I he's meeting me for, that if I want to change my location, like my apartment, they could arrange with the university to give me that support for the relocation and finding me a new place, because I live in Japan, and Japanese like language is not easy, like especially for really like difficult task. Maybe for daily life is okay, but if you want to change your apartment, you need help.
Hmm.
And and after that, because he saw, he was you need to read that part, but the whole story is, he became my therapist, my uh, mentor, my help, it because he saw nobody else was helping me. So he, no, even though he was very busy, he always made time to meet with me regularly, to check how my doctor appointment is going, how I'm doing with my flashbacks, and like uh, and he used to always tell me all is well, even when I couldn't see it yet. It was his catchphrase, don't worry, all is well. And I really cherish that phrase now, and I wanted my book to say, because it's the story of my life, even not only about rape, everything that I've gone through. If I could just see, I think I kind of subconsciously always saw that maybe not all is well, but all is gonna to be
It will
is
all
gonna
be
be
well.
well. Yeah, yeah. So I wanted to honor that, because still, I mean, it's not like my life is now like 100% okay and I'm like 100% happy all the time. When something bad happens, I remind myself that all is well. And I wanted people who read my book also see that no matter what, all is well. Life is bigger than your pain. Your life is bigger than what you're going through at this moment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That it makes me think of a line from there's a song that I used in I teach meditation classes once a month,
Yeah.
and we do a lot of interfamily systems. So internal family systems is a style of therapy where you talk to the various parts of yourself who experience trauma, and then you offer the support to those parts of yourself. And in one of our meditations, we use this song called My Healing. And there's a quote in there that I really feel resonates very hard with this. It's the line she says is, "It wasn't okay then, but it's okay now."
Exactly. Oh my God, I got chills.
I
That's
love
the
that.
story of my life.
It wasn't okay then, but
Yeah.
it's okay now.
Yeah.
And I think that I love that. I love that the all is well. I love that that was the catchphrase. And I love that that is something that you focus on because you're right. It wasn't okay then. It wasn't well then, but all is well now.
Yes, all is well. I want people to always remind themselves that all is well.
It'll all
And
work out.
it
Even if it
will.
doesn't look if it doesn't look like it right
Yeah.
now, it will all work out.
Yeah. The more we talk about our pain, the more people are gonna feel that they're not alone. It's just we
Hmm.
are all in this together. This is a
Hmm.
life that when I first saw the movie Pursuit of Happiness, like that movie was made, in my perspective, in a way to show that a person can go through so much and still not give up and go, like, but I still don't see that that person had really that many of the pain, I mean, compared to so many other people. I mean,
Right.
it because I think the problem is because nobody speaks about their pain. Nobody, I mean, in a word that that movie is symbolized as something extremely painful, as what all I see is just someone who just had a divorce and it was difficult for him to find a job, and maybe he had to go through so many, and that is now a symbol of, like, I mean, not to disrespect the movie, but my point is, culturally, we are all, no matter where in the world we are, we think that we have to keep quiet and not share our pain. I don't know who invented this, that sharing your pain is shameful. It's
Well,
not.
the people
Yeah.
that don't want to talk about it, the
Yeah.
people that don't want to hear what it is, because there are a lot of
Yeah.
people who they don't want to hear your story. They don't want to hear your pain because then it kind of pulls them in.
Yeah. They
And
don't know
some
how
people
to
just they
react.
don't,
Yeah.
right, they don't know how to respond to it. So they
Which
just
is
don't want to hear about
because
it.
of the stigma, because I mean, cultural thing is just so funny that when you get used to a certain behavior, it just becomes your normal, and changing from it is so difficult, and
Yeah.
the more people do it, the more normal it's gonna become.
Absolutely. I'm a big,
Yeah.
I know that this is, the culture has shifted. in the last few years. I know there's a lot more people talking about trauma-informed work, talking
Exactly.
about your trauma, talking about your healing, starting to do the work to undo the pain so that you
Yeah.
can move beyond it. And so much more conversations are happening around that topic. But you're right, for so long, nobody talked about it. We just, if
Yeah.
something bad happened to you, you just don't talk about it. And I agree with you. The more that we talk about the things that we've struggled through, the more we give other people not only permission to feel their own feelings for whatever they've gone through, but the encouragement to know
Yeah.
that if you've gone through something hard, that is not the entirety of your life. That is just one chapter in the entire book of your existence. It is one part of it. It is not the whole of your story. It is just part of your story. Your story
Yeah.
has so many points like that with trauma points, but that's not the whole of your story. That's just some of the story
Yeah.
of you. There is so much more to you than just these terrible things that have happened to you. And like you said, it has helped you grow as a person to go
Yeah.
through these experiences. And now you have the unique opportunity to be able to help other people who have been through similar situations and say, hey, it does get better. It's not always
Exactly.
going to be awful. It does
Yeah.
get better.
And it makes me happy if I can only, if my book can only help even one person to go through the pain that they are currently in and to get to survive it. Not only survive, I don't know why we call it survive. It's just you can go from trauma to survive and then to growth and to happiness.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not, it's just to thrive, not to, I mean, it's ironic that I work with mangrove trees. They are like known for resilience. And I feel like we were like matched in heaven. That yeah, I study how they are so resilient, growing in a very difficult environment, and I can relate.
I'm sure you can. I really appreciate you talking to me today about your book and everything that you've gone through. You are a wonderful person. And just,
Thank you. So do you.
I
Sorry.
wish I could go to Japan and just to hug you.
You should come to Japan and you we should hug. I am actually such a hugger,
Me
which is
too.
hard in Japan because Japanese people are not big on hugging. So I need more hug in my
I'll have
life.
to, I'll come to Japan and we'll give big hugs. We'll just like a nice big long hug.
Yeah, I also if I come to Canada, maybe I sometimes go to Canada for conferences. Actually, this hoodie that I'm wearing, this
Oh,
is a gym in Canada, Naturally Fit, that when I
yeah,
was there for a conference, yeah, I bought this in that gym. I'm
nice.
kind of workout addict, so everywhere I go, even for a week, I always sign up for a week membership of a gym. So I got that. I really like that it says naturally fit. So it fits me that because not only physically, but also I feel like, as I said, I didn't
Mentally.
decide to be resilient. I was just luckily born that way. I don't know how, that I never gave up and I don't give up.
Well, Mateen, I am so glad that you don't give up. And I am so glad that you took everything that you experienced and put it on paper and turned it into a book so that you can help so many other people with your story. I really appreciate you. I appreciate the work you've done. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate talking to you.
So, how can people? I'm going to drop your book in the comments in the description so people can find you. Do you have any social media or anything that people can contact you?
Yes, I am on Facebook and X. I'm not on Instagram. And you can also share my email, my name and my last name at live.com, Matin Miryeganeh, without anything in between. I'll send you that. And my book is available on Amazon in most countries. So they can just search All Is Well and Matin and it will come up, or All Is Well Memoir. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. And for the rest of our viewers, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us today. And as you keep moving forward, keep letting go of all those things that are holding you back from being your best, your greatest, your most authentic you. Love and light. Bye.